I was in the hot tub with my friends, and there's this thing called a rugby line out where two people like lift you up by your legs, and it's like you catch a ball in rugby. But we were in the hot tub, we were just goofing around. They're like, oh, let me line out you. The old me would have said, nah, it's all, I don't want to do that, right? Today I was just like, fuck it, right? They lifted me up. I was wearing really short shorts, like swimming trunks. And like low-key, a bit of my leg was like showing, right? But low-key, I was with the boys. I didn't really give a fuck. I just did it. I realized this is the kind of thing I wouldn't do when I was younger. And I'm gonna relate this to being social in a second. But for me, I've always been extremely unathletic. I've always been like I hit my growth spurt super early and was super fucking clumsy. When everybody was playing soccer when I was younger, I would just sit out. I would always not join in. But I realized that joining in, that's how you become better in the first place. And just joining in, even if you're bad, you should be joining in anyways. Like even if you're bad at sports, even if you're not that good, because then people see you as like, oh, you're getting involved. And as long as they respect you in some other area, you're not going to be disrespected. If you respect yourself in the area, you're in good shape, you go to the gym, but you're really fucking clumsy, then when you join in the sport, people aren't going to be mean to you, because people just like the guy who's active, right? I promise you, even if you're super skinny, people don't really respect you. Join in when the boys are playing handball, basketball, whatever. It's a really important lesson. But let me relate this to being social before I give you the best lessons I've learned on how I made the social life of my dreams. Being around boys I love hanging out with, getting attention from girls is obviously part of this. The thing that I wanted to teach you the most is, you know how when I would sit out from playing soccer, I'd watch everyone else play, so I would never get better? It's the same with being social, You're in class and everybody is like cracking a joke, or everybody's like talking about the project, and you're kind of just there sitting in your corner because you're scared of what other people will think about you. Well, you probably know that one goofy guy in your class who's like a bit shit at everything, but he's still really friendly and he has mates. And as long as he knows how to stand up for himself when he's being disrespected, he's not going to be blatantly disrespected. In fact, he's going to have way more friends than you. You've probably seen this and been able to relate to this. And so the first lesson I want is, in the future, when you're at any social event, you're at the sports group, join in socially, say hi to everybody. Try and crack a joke when everybody else is cracking a joke. Be part of things. Now, I'm Finn. I help young guys build the social life of their dreams. I'm gonna get into everything I haven't, everything I have to teach in a second. But if you want my I have a guide on how to have an amazing personality. My other videos go more in depth into more specific topics related. It's all about social skills. If you're interested in that, click the subscribe button and just like the video if you want to. If you want to, I don't mind. Just helps. The first lesson I want to teach is, does thinking socially actually even help you? We always think, our thoughts matter, right? But I have an interesting perspective to share. I met this girl who I really liked at this one time, and she was leaving to go overseas. So I assumed that when I messaged her, I remember I messaged her and I was like, oh, good luck overseas, take care. My gut feeling was telling me, she's not gonna like me, she's not gonna want to speak to me anymore. She ended up sending me a message where I could tell, she still cares, she kind of still wants to keep talking. When she said so what's happening with us now? What's happening, right? That hit me there. In that moment, I learned a really unique lesson. My gut feel was telling me, she's gonna end it. She's not gonna like me anymore. She's gonna just stop talking to me. Even though she kept talking to me. That's what made me realize my gut feel, people's gut feels, it's overly dependent on your past experiences. We're trying to go from being a social outcast to being a popular guy or somebody with genuine friendships. We're not gonna do that by listening to our brain, to our gut feel that has got us to the point we're at. If we're not social right now and we've been relying on our gut feel, on our instinct, if this guy likes me or this guy doesn't like me, and it's gotten us to this situation, we need an entirely new approach. So, for example, the other week I met this guy and I texted him online because we have a lot of mutuals, and I really like this guy. But when I met him in person, it was late. It was 2 a.m. and I was just out having a good time with my friends, and he was really quiet. I didn't realize he was the same person who I'd seen so much about his life on his Insta, who I really respected, who I'd been chatting to. And I kind of just like in the back of my mind, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, I was judging really harshly. Even though when I actually realized who he was, I actually put in an effort to speak to him. He was a really nice guy. He was really funny. I really respected him. I've been out for 4 years meeting, I've genuinely met like at least 10,000 people, at least. And I'm still judging a person who I could actually really like wrong. That's why I genuinely think relying on your gut feel is a really bad shot. Like, you should rely on it in some situations, but only if you have like the credibility of, like, for example, for me, if I've gone out on like 30 nights out and I've met all these different people and I've had all these experiences that went really well, when I rely on my gut feel, I still make mistakes, first of all, but at least it's like my own body is like guiding me. Like, I have some good insight, some subconscious insight on like, oh, is this person gonna like me, or what should I say to this person? But even as somebody who's been doing it for this long, I still muck it up real bad. So I think realistically, like, let's be humble for a second. I don't want to talk too much about where I'm at being social now. I want to talk about how I got more social. I had to humble myself when I was talking to people and my gut feeling was saying, don't open up, don't share this experience about yourself, don't say this. I don't think I think that held me back a lot. And when I finally started questioning my thoughts all the time, when I thought in my mind or my gut feeling, oh, this guy doesn't like me, I'd question myself and say, what makes you say that? How do you know? You haven't even spoken to them. If you haven't been friendly and tried to introduce yourself, how do you know if they don't like you? When I finally started doing that, because I recently relearned this lesson, I'm going to tell you a story of what happened. There was this guy who we were out on a night out, and I was talking to one friend and then this other guy came up. This guy, for some backstory, he has like a really mean face. Like, he looks like he's not interested in you. When I speak to him, he's really dry. And I spoke to him and I was like, bro, like, yo, is it true? Like, do you not like me or something? I don't know how I said it exactly, but I said something like that. He's like, no, not at all, bro. He said, yeah, I'm aware, like, I probably don't have the most friendly appearance. A lot of people say to me, like, oh, I seem like I'm a mean guy before they meet him. That made me realize all this time, like, if I've only confronted one guy who I think didn't like me about it, and he's like, oh yeah, no, I didn't have a problem with you. How many times in my life when I've trusted my gut feel has somebody actually really liked me and I'm just way off? That's why we should question our thoughts all the time and make the right actions. And then I went into, because we were on a club night this night, we went into this club and there's this thing where you can like buy a table or rent a table for the night, and it's like this cut-off area. And this girl who, like, funny enough, this guy and this girl are like kind of in a relationship. The girl came up to me and she was like, oh, I'm not sure if you can be here on this table. And for once, since this guy I just met, he said, oh, like, I actually always liked you. And I thought this girl also didn't really like me. I said, oh yeah, no problem. Do you want me to go? She's like, no, it's all right. I just wanted to make sure, like, in case they don't want you to be here, the random, like, the older girls, like, one of them was a club manager or something. I said, oh, don't worry about me, but I thought that you didn't really like me. She's like, no, I never had a problem with you. Like, there was nothing at all. And I realized in that moment, 2 people in a row, that this whole time I assumed they didn't like me. When they were perfectly fine with me, they just didn't know me, they weren't comfortable. It felt like, oh, they didn't like me, but really, maybe they were just scared to talk to me, like the big fucking tall, scary looking dude with the buzz cut, right? I mean, okay, that, like, you may not be scary, but you might, like, the same effect might happen, like, oh, you seem like you're not interested in them. So trust me, you would be so surprised at how scared most people are to meet a new person. It's like genuinely unbelievable how, like, doubtful of themselves most people are. I questioned, does this person like me or not? I said, is this a good, like, belief to have? And I've been doing this more. And I just say in my mind, yo, you're probably being unrealistic, and I go speak to them anyways, and I'm always getting proved right, like, oh, they're actually nice. Sometimes there's gonna be a dickhead, and you can't let that get to your mind when you're being, like, super friendly to everybody, and one person's like, why are you being friendly? Like, just fuck them, because they're a sad person. I'm telling you, if somebody doesn't like you, like, without a reason, if they know you and you, like, fuck their girl or some crazy shit, right? Obviously they're not gonna like you. but it has nothing to do with who you are as a person. It was just this action that they know about that made them dislike you. So I'm gonna move on to the next point, but I thought this was extremely important. Throughout our day-to-day, keep questioning, oh, does this person like me? When you say, oh, no, they don't like me, just question and say, oh, I'm just gonna speak to them anyways. And most of the time, especially when your social skills gets better, you're more friendly, they end up liking you. Even if they didn't like you before, assume they like you, and then when you speak to them and you're showing your true personality, they usually end up coming around to liking you. Dude, at the end of the day, you're only gonna have a few real mates who are gonna be there with you thick and thin. I'm gonna get more into this, but the number one thing that helps you make these good mates, it's interesting, right? Because everyone says, oh, you want friends who are always gonna be with you, who are always gonna stick with you. I think you can do that quite easily. Like, trust me, there's no reason you can't find that. Because even like some goofy ass dickheads that I know have like day ones that are super loyal. This one guy, he backed me when I went to a new school and a lot of people didn't like me. He knew me before I went to this school. When we would hang out, I was really fun to be around. I showed my full personality. I made the jokes I wanted to make. We had a great laugh. We connected well together. I was just a nice guy, right? When I went to this new school, people were saying really like, oh, he's a dickhead, no one likes him, blah, 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 all these things. He stood up for me, he had my back properly, and he told everybody, no, you're wrong, he's a really nice guy. He wouldn't have stuck up, like we've had this conversation. He said if he didn't know me in the past, he wouldn't have done that for me. But that's what made me realize it. Like, why would we expect some random dude who doesn't know us to be like our savior, to have our back all the time, to like always care about what's going on in our life? Like, why do we fucking need that? Like, why that doesn't make sense. You need to earn your right to have good friends. Like, and I mean it in like a specific way. What I mean is, you need to show your friends that you're a nice person, or you've had like a good time of knowing them, for them to be with you through bad times. When you're going through bad times, it's so hard to meet new people. And so I recommend just always be winning, bro. Because if you're always winning and always everyone likes you, then it's easy. And then if you've been winning for 5 years and then your dad dies, do you know how many friends are gonna back you up? Because they know, oh, this guy's been such a nice guy to me for so long, so now when he's in a tough time, I'll back him. But if you're depressed, your dad just died, and you're like bankrupt, and then you try and meet new friends, they're just gonna be like, who is this guy? He doesn't even have good energy. And you're not gonna make those special friendships who have your back no matter what. Right now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm winning, bro. Like, everywhere I go, it's so easy to meet people. I have lots of friends. They introduce me to more friends. Like 99% of the time, when I go and leave my house, somebody I know I will bump into, and it will be like a nice positive chat. So I'm gonna teach you more about like how you can do this, about how you can get to the point where you're always winning. If you want my like in-depth help, I'm gonna teach you a really important lesson in a second for this. But if you want my in-depth help, I have way more videos on this. I have a video called How to Have a Personality That People Can't Resist But Like on my channel. Go watch that after this video if you want more information. But for now, I want to tell you about this one guy who really backs me. He's a really good friend of mine. This guy, we were sitting down at this seat, we were hanging out. He was about to leave Hong Kong. And he said to me, he's like, bro, you know what? I think you're the most well-connected guy that I know in Hong Kong. That was like a sick-ass compliment. I realized the first time I met him, I'd met him 3 times. He didn't really care who I was the first 2 times. A year later, we met again. This time, I was with a friend laughing my ass off in the gym, and I had a question, and we were like, yo, what do you think? We were having like a debate, right? So there was this other guy in the gym, this really intimidating, scary guy, but I'd met him once or twice. I said, yo, bro, is this how you do the squat, or is this how you do the squat? Or some bullshit like that, right? He ended up saying, and I was like in a good mood laughing, he was like, oh yeah, it's this way. And I was like, oh, you know that, bro. Or I made some like joke. I was in a good mood. I had this great energy about me. And then I said, oh, yo, bro, let's go get some. We ended up eating a meal after. And then we ended up going out together the next night. I had an amazing night out. And it helps for me when I go out because people will come and recognize me. I have so many people that I can say hi to. I've been like I have a good group of friends. I know a lot of people. I guarantee that we became so much closer after that night out because he respected me. So then when he found out about my YouTube channel, about how I struggled socially in school, then he backed me so much more because he knew like, okay, this guy is actually a really good guy. He's working hard on himself, so I can respect him. And then he probably also thought like, oh wait, this guy also had a hard experience, like it could resonate with me. When you have both, this guy, like he comments on my videos, he's a good friend of mine, he has my back. If I was in a fight, I know for a fact he would have my back. Like, it's just, you make good friends this way. And if you want help unlocking this social life, I understand it feels like it's almost impossible to achieve. Click the link in the description. I have like a step-by-step guide on how you can do it. The next point I have to make though, this guy, so I was at the rugby sevens, and basically there's like seats to my right, seats to my left, and there's like this massive stadium and there's stairs you go up. So I'm looking around, I know some people, I have some friends here and there. I can pretty much go sit down with like a different few people. Instead, I just walked straight up the fucking thing, straight up the stairs. And there was this one guy, when I was about to turn to my friend, he's like, Finn, yo, Finn. Fuck. Oh, fuck. I got something in my throat. Oh, mate. Excuse me, bro. Anyways, I was walking up the stairs. I got excited telling that story. I was walking up the stairs, and this guy's like, yo, Finn, yo, what's up, bro? And I was like, who is this guy? I've never seen this guy before. And I went up, I started speaking to him, and he had such good energy that I decided, no, I'm not going to stay hanging out with my friends. I'm going to hang out with this guy. We spent until 3 a.m. together that night for like 8 hours together. That was the first time I drank in a year. I was having such a good time. We genuinely had a blast. It was so much fun. And I remember, just because this guy had good energy, he wasn't like a high achiever. He wasn't super jacked. There was no like special value behind him. He was just really friendly. And because of that, I became friends with him. So that's the point that I wanted to make to you. If you can just have good energy, that's low-key enough. Like that is low-key one of the biggest things when you're going out and you don't want to be a social outcast. Like maybe it's because right now you're always scared of what people think, so you never show your true personality and you never have confidence to show, oh, I've got really good energy, be really hype and excited to see people, even though that's what would make them really like you. Now I'm gonna get into lesson 3. Now, I'm all about winning. I'm not one of these guys who's like, oh, we need to struggle, like, because that's what makes life so much better. I'm not one of these guys. I just want you to straight up start winning. I do fuck with like, okay, you went through a struggle, you weren't that social, and then you become social and it means a lot more. I do fuck with that idea. But fuck that, bro. We would just want to be social straight up, right? So, what I want to tell you is it's going to be really difficult at first. Let me tell you a story. In year 10, when I was at a boarding school, this is my first year there, everybody was really rude to me. No one really liked me. I look back at that time when I was working my fucking ass off with a strange sense of fondness, because I hit rock bottom at this time. Like, that was my version of hell. Like, obviously, I feel like there could be worse things that someone could go through. You know, your dad could die or something. But to me, that was like up there one of the hardest things that I could go through. Because to me, being social meant so much, right? But it was in this time where I had such a bad social experience, no one liked me, where I learned the most about being social, where I decided, okay, all these people don't like me, but fuck it, I'm gonna be social anyways. I wasn't social enough at school, which was a mistake, but on holidays I was. And when I had that, and at the end of the year, where I was on this one night out, and all of a sudden my social problems weren't there. It was easy to speak to everybody. I had friends who liked me. There was girls who were into me. That man in the arena experience where I was fucking thugging it out at school, I was working my ass off, going to the gym a lot and studying a lot and making myself a better person, it became the most rewarding experience. It became amazing to be social, whereas before it was kind of something I a little bit neglected. It was just like, yeah, I'd done it. I'd already become social when I was awkward, then I became social, then I went to boarding school and struggled again. And then when I was social again, finally, then I appreciated it so much more. For example, because I do want you to win, right? But I just want you to be okay with losing. Like, for example, I couldn't bench the barbell when I started. I was horrifyingly embarrassed of going to the gym because I was doing like like incline press, dumbbell press with 5 kilo dumbbells because I wasn't strong enough to bench the bar. That means that now when I'm stronger in the gym, I can lift at least 4 times more than what I started. Even though I'm not like the strongest dude in the world, I'm like, holy shit, like this means everything. Like I was never in good shape. I wish I could have this. It means so much more to me. So if you're right now struggling being social, don't see it as like, oh fuck, I'm not social. See it more as like, oh, I'm gonna fucking love when I am social. See it like that, and then put in the effort. If you want to put in the effort, I have this one strategy. It works fucking foolproof. It's amazing. Basically what I did was, there was 2 events. One of these events, my friend was DJing at this club, but I didn't really know anybody. I just got a friend to come out with me. This guy wasn't very social either, by the way. And then the Wednesday after, there was an end of school party and we went there. And then I went to Sydney and I went on a Friday night to meet up with a random friend. So basically I planned a bunch of events. Every time I went to this event, the first few times I was there, the first people I was speaking to was so awkward, it was so hard. By the second night, it was easy to talk to people again. Obviously, I have past experience, so it was a bit faster for me. But by the second week, when I went to Sydney and I met up with this friend on a Friday night, and I hadn't seen him in 5 years, he introduced me to this girl who invited me to go to her 18th birthday the next day with her. And then when I was at that birthday, I didn't know a single person there, but I managed to speak to everybody. I pulled off some genuinely like peak social life fucking challenge, right? I then the next Wednesday met this guy who I really respected, who he got in the same uni that I got into. So if I was going there, I said, oh, I might not be going until like later this year or next year. But he said, yeah, no problem. I was like, yo, you show me around, right? He's like, 100%, bro. We're gonna hang out when you're back, bro. Let me know. He messages me. He gasses up my stories. I met so many friends in Sydney and Melbourne that I got so much more close to just because like I put myself out there for 2 weeks when my social skills was really low at the end of the exam season, and I fucking went ham going out. I met all these new guys. That is the strategy that I recommend the most. And I get that it's overwhelming. You have no idea where to start. It feels like a complete, like unbelievable like process. And also you might be thinking, oh, 2 weeks? Like I can't do that. I can't make that much progress in a month. I guarantee you, if you click the link in the description, you start working with me personally one-to-one. I have my step-by-step guide. I fucking promise I'll change your life. I've done this for myself. I've done this for about 5 other people who've completely changed their social life. And I don't even know how many people I've impacted on my YouTube channel. I'm talking 5 people in my own life. You will start to have girls into you. You will have friends you love being around. You will laugh your ass off. You will get amazing connections. You'll just be so much happier with your life. There's so many, this is like the most high ROI thing that you can ever spend your time on. If you want my help doing that, click the link in the description, and I promise you I'll change your life. Have a great day, bro. Subscribe and like. Take care.